Okay, regarding the TidRadio, TDH3 and the TDH8, there are some considerations that you should take in deciding if this is the right radio or if you are looking for particular functions or ability. Getting worse is when you buy something, you're expecting it, and the feature that you thought would come with it is not there. So we're going to talk about some of the considerations you need to keep in mind when you're deciding. For me, I love these radios. There's so many good things about it. I'm not sponsored. These weren't given to me. I purchased these over a period of time, tested them for personal use. I'm a ham radio operator, so basically the TDH8 is my favorite, and the reasons I'll talk about in a minute. The TDH8, which is this one right here, has a larger screen, has a larger keypad. It is capable of higher power, 10 watts. All the radios I test matched the power output. However, if this was set up for GMRS, I believe the power will be reduced. It's a legal requirement, I think. Anyways, I use it for ham radio, so I'm getting the full benefit. It is open, so the bands has been extended. Not that I need it, but it's there. If I want to listen, for example, the 1.25 meter, which is a ham band. But if size is important, then the H3. For sharing with a group, the H3 would be better. It's cheaper, loss or damage occurs. I mean, the price of it is so cheap that if there was any warranty on it, it'd be cheaper just to throw it away and order another one, provided it doesn't keep failing every month, which I don't see that happening right now. The quality does seem to be great. So, there is a locking feature, so you can lock the keypad out. Person can't not make changes without unlocking, accidentally. Quite important when you have a large family, you're camping, fishing, whatever, you're kind of monitoring. You're not going to cry too much if one of your kids drops this in the lake fishing or in a fire or something of that sort. So, again, it depends who's going to use it, how you plan to use it. There is a feature that I thought was interesting. It's function number 46. It's only on the H3, called Scramble. Basically, it inverses the audio, sound like Donald Duck, SSB. In some countries, I believe this might be illegal, so you need to check, because they may consider that as encrypting or encoding. Though it's very easy to to monitor if someone really wanted to, if they are familiar with the radios. The only use I can think of is, for example, my wife is asking for a password, and I say, hey, let's switch to the other mode, like a hint. And she turns on Scramble, I turn on Scramble and say, yeah, the password is rubber ducky. Then switch off. Again, you want to check the legality in each country. Also, another feature that the H3 has and the H8 doesn't is stun and kill. Stun and kill basically locks out. If you transmit with a stun code, the other radio will lock out. And if you recover it, you can stun it again to unlock it. If it's permanently lost, you can kill it, so it requires physical to have the unit back in order to get it working again. The price of these units are so cheap that I don't know if it's even worth the trouble. But if you hear someone abusing it, you can lock them out. I guess that's one advantage. I will test this myself, this experiment, to see what it's like. Now, there are some functions that I want, and I think most will. Function 07. Now, this is called D-Wait. You can then receive frequency A and B at the same time. If you go to function 18, which is called FMDW, this will give you dual watch. And then function 36, sync, dual band, dual display, it will display A and B band at the same time. On the H3, you do have a function 48, which is AM band. So if you're listening to AM frequencies like CB, airport, then you would turn that on. So if some of these functions are necessary, like the function 48 AM band, then you definitely want to get the H3. For me, the prices are so cheap, I have both because I have more than one application for these radios. For me, AM's not required, but I turn it on just in case. Most other functions like beep, voice, tail, tones, I turn off for me. I just like quiet. Minimal noise. The H3 has more functions, which I believe right now is about 56, while the H8 has 45 functions. So that's 10, 11, 12 more functions. I will just quickly display a document that I have showing the different functions. The function order for the H3 and H8 almost identical, except for 7. The first 10 functions, I believe, on the H8 is in a different order in comparison to the H3, but after that, they're identical. Hopefully, in an update, they can change that so people who have both radios don't have to learn 2 sets of numbers to remember, like 05 if I want to turn off my display sooner or later. On the H8, I think it's 06. Just makes the human interface much more practical and easy for people to use. So TidRadio, if you're listening, I think that's a feature you should correct on the TD8. It will make it easier for me, less memory work, especially as you get older. Okay, this is a chart comparing the location of the H3 and H8 function. And once you get to function 10, they're a complete match. Feel free to screen capture this if you find it useful. Also, if you want a PDF of this, just give me some sort of email address and I just can email it to you. And the next one here is just the H3, and then the other chart would be the H8. Screen capture probably will work for most. But as you can see, 45 is the maximum function that is available, and 56 for the H3. I think all the important ones, at least to me, I have them in red, what I like to have them set up for. My backlight is 30 seconds, not 5 seconds. I don't want beep. Definitely want my D-Wait. I think you have to turn on sync before D-Wait option is available. Don't want the voice. Definitely like my dual band. I like to see the frequencies You can have one band give me the name, the other one frequency, but I have both. I don't use repeaters, so I don't need Tails Rogers acknowledgement. I don't want no IDs or tones. I got them all turned off. So, and of course, I like to personalize my startup screen with a message. And 52 to 54 is definitely for the H3s, giving you access to extra bands. Hopefully this helps. Why I prefer VHF, UHF, actually UHF even better, is because the other bands there's more activity, and if you're monitoring for your local traffic, your own personal traffic, VHF, UHF is the way to go. And you start going to the HF bands, you'll have what you call propagation skip issues, intermodulation interference, higher background noise. And, I'm not a shortwave listener, so this will be important. If you're a shortwave listener, then definitely you want to get something that you can listen to on a regular basis. Audio is important. So I find the audio quality on both the H3 and H8 to be more than okay. The H8 has, I would say, slightly better quality. If you're looking for better quality to listen, you might want to consider getting one of those speaker mics. TidRadio has two mic speaker. One, which is upgraded, I believe it's better built, and they do say it has a better audio quality. I've ordered one of those, and whenever it comes in, I will test it. I do have an ICOM speaker mic. I find it great, especially in a noisy environment, not having to carry the unit. It's on the side holster. You got a clip there to your collar. Okay, and what I'll do is I'll show you the picture of this mic speaker, the one I've ordered in the options. So that's one way of improving your audio. Okay, here's the TidRadio speaker mic, the upgraded version. No, that's the normal one for $6.99. If you notice, there's an upgrade mic option, and the price is $15.99. Loud and clear sound, durable, rugged shell, sturdy and flexible. Apparently, you can adjust the sensitivity on it. They claim you can get better audio plus better mic level control. And that's some of the pictures, how it looks like. I have one ordered. I'll test it and see what it's like. It's handy to have at times because I can clip the radio on my side belt, and I'm assuming there's a clip on the back of the mic where, at least the icon, I can clip onto my collar, and I can monitor, listen, much more easier. Not have to always be reaching, especially if you're in a very noisy environment. It makes a big difference. And this video just has some information about the upgraded mic. So that's something you need to decide if you need it, because it's best to order these things at the same time you're ordering the radio. I'll provide a link to all this in the video, so you can click on it. And of course, your support would be helpful if you use the 10% discount code, SimplyOffGridLife. On my previous videos, I did introduce OD Master Web and Chirp. What I found with OD Master, even though you're going to use it for GMRS or whatever, or ham, I created an unlock initial file, just in case I want to listen to an extended frequency. And I believe it also allows me to listen to our 1.25 meter, 220 megahertz. But it'd be a good idea. You can decide. I've created one for every band, but every mode. One thing I've noticed, after you do an update, let's say a firmware update on the radios, you may need to redo and create a new H3, H8 programming file. I believe there is information embedded in these files that will limit what you can do. It seems to be the case, and it's very quick to update, to replace it. So I do it every time there's a major update. Chirp. Oh, before I go on to Chirp, the Webmaster, it supports, of course, Bluetooth. Works beautiful. Love it. Whether it be the H3 or H8. I think it's a feature, a good selling feature. Hopefully they will expand this by allowing to program firmware updates using Bluetooth. Okay, regarding the chip program, it's a great way to start determining what frequencies you want to save. In my case, I would select the country, the city, and the range. We'll say 500 miles. And what bands I want. You know, would it be 2 meters, 6 meters, you know. You select the bands you want that your radio will support. And then take your H3 or 8.8 unlocked version, and you have to use a USB-C or firmware update cable to connect to Chirp. Bluetooth's not yet supported. Read that your setup from your radio, and then it's just a matter of doing a select all on the frequencies that you want, and then go in and do a pace. If there's any frequencies that are not supported by that H8 or H3 programming file, it will leave it blank, that frequency blank. I find if you then try to add other frequencies after doing that, it may not allow you because it keeps objecting to failure to support certain frequencies or bands. So you may have to create a dummy setup, everything that you want, and do a select all and do a select all pace. That's the way it seemed to work for me so far. Okay, I've launched Chirp. I can go in right here and do a repeater book. Select your area. I got other bands I'm gonna, like this H3 supports a 10, 6, 2, and 125, 70. And FM. And I'm going to import it. 172 frequencies. You may find that the numbering may not be in orders because if it's a repeater frequency that you didn't select a band, the number will jump. For example, instead of 79 to 80, it may jump to 79 to 81. That's not to worry about. Okay, and now I'm going to go download from the radio. You have to be sure it's the right model, otherwise it won't work. H3 is what I'm using. Okay. Interesting. I guess I was testing here, so let me do a select all and go ahead and delete all. I find, yeah, it's all gone. Now I go select all, copy, select all, paste. Let's scroll through. And let's take a look. It looks like, yeah, there you go. Interesting. If you have some data still left in there, then this 53 and this 224 megahertz will be blank. So this is a fresh start. And I just go in and upload to the radio. Okay, okay. Let's try something a little bit different here, just to prove a point. Okay, I'm going to copy this. And let's say I want to replace this. It worked. Yeah. Looks like updating my programming file removed some of the issues that I had earlier. So if you're having problems, try that. Okay, that's it. Let's go back. Okay, I took a quick look on the radio, and the 220 megahertz, I can transmit on it. The 50 megahertz, which is the 6 meter band, it was there. I can receive, but I can't transmit on it. Let me just, you hear a little beep. Okay, that tells you. But if I go to the 220, it works. So now let's see what happens if I import it with OD Master. Okay, let me verify. Bluetooth is on. There you go. Parent. So I'm going to do brand new, add, and I'm going to read from the radio. I'm using Chrome on MacBook version OS. There you go. Okay, notice my 6 meter, it did enter it. However, if I was to click on that field, it will give me an error. And then it deletes it. So, same thing. I'm just checking, scrolling down, see what other channels are missed. So let's look for a 220 frequency here. I believe it should work. There you go. That works. No problems. So I'm assuming the OD master will need some updating. Even though it is unlocked to receive the 6-meter band, it won't allow me to save using the OD master, but no problems with 220. So there you go. I'll close it. No, I won't be keeping it. Regarding the OD master web, it can, like as I mentioned, it can read USB-C and also via firmware cable like the Kenwood. And it will work with Bluetooth, but only with the Mac Chrome. I'm assuming Chrome on Windows would support that. I haven't tested it. Safari for the Mac doesn't support Bluetooth at this time, but Mac Chrome is available and it works perfectly with Bluetooth, OD Master. You want to keep in mind that not all the options and functions are supported or saved. So there's about half a dozen, depending if the H8 has less to correct, while the H3 has a little bit more, where you have to manually go into the menu and turn it on. I'm assuming that probably get corrected through updates to the OD Webmaster. Not a big issue. It's not a big problem. It's easy to overcome these limitations. One thing I've noticed that even though my band or the H3 is open for example, 10 meters, it will give me an error. So you have to kind of manually enter it for now. Okay, the firmware updater program is only available for Windows. And some have claimed that they were able to use USB-C in their Windows OS. So I ran Windows 10 using the Apple software to install on my Intel chip MacBook Pro 15. I haven't tried to see if it works with VM Fusion or Parallel on my M1 chip MacBook Pro 16. I certainly would like to try it out and find out, because it'd be nice if I could do everything on my current Mac hardware and not have to switch to another one to do an update. I was expecting that there would be a lot of updates and fixes, so as a backup I ordered the Kenwood cable. It's cheap. If you do order a radio, throw one in just in case. You know, the price is right, so why not? I will put a link to all the accessories that I've talked about, so this way you don't have to worry about selecting a wrong cable or something of that sort, if it's possible. Quick and handy. And again, make your purchase, grab the discounts that are available with Simply Off-Grid-Life, and I believe if you place the order, you might get another 3%. Another area that you should consider is antennas. If the radio you purchase is going to be mostly used, for example, GMRS systems, then order the GMRS radio. They can still be unlocked for ham and open. However, the antenna will be cut for the GMRS frequency, while the ham will be cut for the ham 270 centimeters. So you want to select the antenna so transmissions will be a better match as SimplyR issues reduced. You can order other antennas for monitoring other bands. They're not expensive, so take that in consideration if you're ordering a radio. Throw in a ham, GMRS, antenna. The antennas that come with these units, I call them rubber duckies. They're small in length, which is, 99.99% of the time is more than adequate. To illustrate, for example, a 2-meter band is about 2.5 feet for a quarter wave. And they're often reduced by a smaller length because they use coils and impedance matching. I have ordered 5 ham antenna radios for myself. They're a bit longer than the rubber ducky that comes with it. I'm going to test and review them later, see how much difference it will be. You got to remember that when you're using a handheld, you are the ground plane. And to get a lower SWR reading when you're holding the radio in your hand requires a ground plane, and you are the ground plane. Now, just like not all Earth is a good ground plane. In fact, some of the transmitters out there, big towers, they bury cables because they're not getting good ground plane. So you see literally thousands of feet of cable buried. And the people body will vary too. So one setup may work great for another person doesn't seem to work as good. It could be your body, it could be where you're standing. So don't get caught up in, this is the best antenna. To kind of explain how important these ground planes are, I have a previous video on Faraday blanket. Take a look if you want more info, and I'll show you a picture of the antennas that I ordered, the difference between a rubber ducky and the ones that I've ordered. Okay, this is the cable that I've been using for firmware update. I even use it with OD Master. I used it with Chirp. It works. And this is the optional antenna, single unit, but I have 5 coming in. So for $12.99, 5 antennas. They do claim, excuse me, a higher gain. I was toying with the idea of making my own, as they're simple enough, and cutting it so that it's tuned to my favorite frequency. But we'll see if it makes that big of a difference. I suspect it will, the fact that it's physically longer. Whether it be enough, worth the cost, we'll see. Batteries. Some people online have complained that, those connections on the back of the battery, you feel something when you're transmitting. I never experienced this issue, nor probably unlikely to do so. Perhaps they had an issue with where they were, poor ground, hot neutral, floating neutral issues, even though weather can raise hair due to static buildup. The unit should have blocking diodes, only one-way flow, or some sort of circuit. You need to stick to the provided charger or cradle, because the wrong voltage may short out your protection. For example, I believe these batteries require a 4-volt DC. It's only a 2.5 amp battery. I have these other radios. You see them on the side. They're 7.4 volts DC, so it wouldn't be compatible for me to use the same charger, assuming the plugs even will work. These are fantastic batteries. I'm impressed how long they last. If you're using it a lot, instead of fast charging, order the extra batteries. The price is right. You know, I got 2 of these. I had spares on my old radios. Never had a need to replace the battery in the middle of use. It lasts long enough. My Akama, I don't even have a spare. But with so many people using it, I figure, okay, it doesn't hurt to carry a couple. And with USB charging, wow, you can charge in your truck, you can charge from your laptop probably. There's many sources, and my trailer is equipped with all sorts of USB charging. Yeah, single battery, $16.99. Buy a pack of 3, save a couple of dollars, $36.99. And any discount codes that you may use. Okay, I'm just going to demonstrate to you the function keys. These are programmable. You got 1, 2, actually there's 2 programs that you can put in on each of these buttons. Likewise, I have most of them turned off except for maybe 2 or 3. This one on the side, if I hold it long enough, okay, hold on, there you go. I have to click once and then hold it long enough because the first one is not programmed. Likewise with this.
Environnement Canada à 11h lundi 27 mai 2024. Aujourd'hui, ensoleillé.
Turns it off. Okay, this one's a little bit harder to get at. Normally, if I hit it the first time, a lamp comes off, but I turned it off. If I hold it down long enough. Okay, let me hit the scan now.
Until now and forever away.
All the evidence said that I never.
But oh my goodness, to everybody that did run the marathon, good for you.
For you, I'm proud of you.
To those that support their partners as well, more than.
आखिरी गीत और ये गीत हरप्रीत की फरमाइश पर है. फिल्म का नाम है लावा.
.ca. Severance package? I only owe you 2.
This little radio picks up a lot of stations, huh?
The Last Airbender and Sailor Moon.
Let's do this.
There you go. You hold it down long enough, it will turn it off. And we got the weather. So basically I have the monitor, the weather, and the radio. The lamps are turned off. I wish the monitor was available on a short click because that's the one I use the most. And having to hold it, click once and hold it a second time. I wish that is corrected. TidRadio, you think it's a good idea? I think so. Okay. This is the 3. It only has one function. And I believe the only thing I got monitored here is for weak signals. Again, if I had the short press for weak signals and the long press for weather, I would do it. So on the H3, you have less options, which is why another reason why I like the TDH. It suits me a little bit better. Almost perfect if they put the monitor or give me the option. It's interesting that when I was checking the settings using Chirp, it gave me that option, which I did, and I saved it, but all I got was a click afterwards, so obviously it's not really supported. For a moment, I thought I'd be a happy rubber ducky. Okay. Hopefully this gives you an idea, because it can affect what your main radio will be. Okay, this is a quick chart of the various functions. As you can see on the H8, I got 2, 4, 6 options. The H3 only have 2. And underneath the H8, you have monitor, weather, alarm, tone, lamp, and radio. On the H3, you have monitor, weather, alarm, tone, lamp, radio, but only 2 places where you can use it. So normally with my settings, the short top I would only use for radio. Maybe I might add weather to it, I will see. Still playing as to what would be ideal for me, but I definitely find monitor is my number one priority, and I wish it was available on a short click. On a short click, if you have weather on, if you have radio on, or even the lamp, you can accidentally push on it and it will switch in the middle of a conversation. So you have to be very careful as to how you program it so it does not interfere with your communication or come on when you don't want it. Well, this video is getting too long, so I'm going to pause. There's an awful lot more I can talk about, but we'll see if this is of interest first. So please subscribe. It would be appreciated. And if you are interested in purchasing any of these units, please use the link so they'll direct you there, that they know that you're being directed. And if you're interested in purchase, use my SimplyOffGridLife. And keep in mind that may be only available one time purchase under your account, unless you use a different account. So you may want to purchase for all the things you may want under the first time, get the discount, and save it. You might get prompted to, if you buy now, they'll give you another 3% off. So something to keep in mind.